While I was recovering from surgery, my father and stepmother blew through my emergency fund to pay for their luxury cruise, saying I didn't need it anyway. For 29 years, I was the good daughter, the dependable one, the one who always came through. But the day I mentioned my surgery to my stepmother, Josephine, I saw a flicker in her eyes, a greedy spark that turned my stomach cold, and promised a betrayal I never thought possible from family. I was sitting at their kitchen counter just 3 weeks before my scheduled abdominal surgery. My dad, Earl, was pretending to read the newspaper while Josephine hovered, adjusting her designer glasses, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "Of course we'll help you recover, sweetie," she cooed. "That's what family is for." The irony was sickening. This was the same kitchen where I'd spent countless hours untangling their financial messes, giving them money, time, emotional support, whatever they needed, I provided. "I just need someone to have emergency access to my account," I explained, sliding a spare debit card across the counter. "Strictly for medical emergencies only." My dad barely looked up. "You worry too much, Van. We've got you covered." His dismissive wave felt like a slap. Later that night, as I gathered my things to leave, I heard Josephine's voice floating from their bedroom. "Timing the cruise just right," she whispered. "She'll be too out of it to even notice." I froze in the hallway, my hand clutching my purse. A familiar, crushing heaviness settled in my chest, the weight of being right about something you desperately wished you were wrong about. They're planning something. I texted my friend Aaron that night. "Good thing we moved most of my money last month." Aaron, bless his soul, had helped me set up a separate account at a different bank weeks ago, transferring the bulk of my savings there. The account my father and stepmother had access to, that was my decoy. It contained just enough to seem plausible, but not enough to destroy me when they inevitably tried to drain it. "You're being paranoid, Rachel," my coworker said over lunch the next day. "They're your parents. They wouldn't—" I cut her off. "You don't know them like I do." That afternoon, Josephine called me 5 times. Each voicemail was more syrupy than the last. "Darling, I was thinking about your recovery. You'll need someone to check on you daily. Maybe you should stay with us?" I deleted every single message. The day before my surgery, I visited my bank one last time. The teller smiled as she verified the card's activation. "Remember," she said, "you can always report unauthorized charges through our online portal." "I know," I replied, quietly. "I've already bookmarked it." That evening, Noel, my stepsister, dropped by unexpectedly. "Mom's so worried about you," she said, sprawling across my couch uninvited. "She can barely focus on anything else." I caught her scrolling through Mediterranean cruise packages on her phone when she thought I wasn't looking. The morning of my surgery, my father and Josephine drove me to the hospital. She kept touching my arm, her French manicure catching the fluorescent lights. "Don't worry about anything," she said. "We'll take care of everything." I watched them in the rearview mirror as they left the hospital parking lot. Josephine was already on her phone, probably booking those cruise tickets she thought I didn't know about. My last conscious thought before the anesthesia took hold wasn't about the surgery itself, but of my real emergency fund, safely tucked away where they couldn't touch it. The decoy account, the one they had access to, it contained exactly the amount of a Mediterranean cruise package for 2, plus a little extra for shopping. I'd calculated it down to the dollar. Some might call it cynical to plan for your own family's betrayal. I call it survival. The nurse counted down from 10 as everything faded to black. I thought about Josephine's whispered conversation about cruise timing, about my father's dismissive waves whenever I mentioned boundaries, about all the times they'd taken advantage of my good nature. They thought I was the reliable one. The pushover, the ATM with a daughter's face. Full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.